Hi everyone, welcome to class. And I think this is, shall I say, uh, this is day 17, and we're actually doing good. We're actually doing good. But I want to be sure if this is day 17. So let me check. Let me just check our previous videos and just to be sure that today is day. Yeah, this should be day 17 or thereabouts. This is good. Oh, this is day 18. Okay, great. So this is day 18. So I might need to uh, change my stuff to day 18. Yeah, good evening, Isaac. Welcome to class. So this is day 18. Fantastic. Fantastic. So I think we have to update the top names so that it sticks. So, but we're doing modules and package for the third time. Okay, for the third time. And so we're doing modules and package for the third time. That's great. So the reason why we are doing it for the third time is because the first time we checked our assignment, and then yesterday we had a little bit of you know had a little bit of time where we because of the noise and all of that my environment. But today I'm just going to talk about the definition, and then we just dive into the practice because I really want to show you how this thing is being run. All right, so that you guys will know how to practice with it. That's my goal. That's the idea. That's what I want to do, so that you know how to practice with modules, how Python modules looks like. But before we go into that, let me just introduce it again by defining or giving the definitions of or the concept of what modules look like. All right. So yeah, welcome Francis and Evie. So modules, like I said yesterday, refers to a file containing Python statements and definitions. All right, and this file contains code. So imagine you have a set of code that you have defined. Okay, and this code runs calculations, or maybe runs expressions, or they just run some stuff or some specific tasks. Okay, you saved it there, and what we have there, maybe you saved it to abc.py. So it is called a module, and the module will be named ABC. Then we use modules. We use modules to break down large programs into small, manageable, and organized files. Furthermore, modules provide usability of code. So you reuse that code. It allows you to reuse your code. And I said to you that let me just read the last one. We can define our most used function in the module, import it instead of copying their definitions into different programs. Great. So that's what we use modules for. Okay. And then I was talking to you about how Python has installed modules like the math function that we saw, and date function, and other basic modules that we can call and use for just come and see my. Let me reload, reconnect now. Let me see I don't know what's happening to. Okay, so I have to reconnect my Ubuntu server. So just a minute, and my screen will be showing up back. So let my server connect. Great. So let me just keep talking while it's loading. So we'll talked about that, and the math function, date function, and all of that. So we saw that in use yesterday, but today I want to put it in practice. How modules have been used, how we use modules in practice, because it helps you to, like I said, segment your code into different parts or file. But I want to also use, let's just use the banking service to to utilize what we want to do. Like, let's say we want to build bank services, okay, or let's say we want to build a bank interface app, and that bank interface app should be able to perform some specific task, like should be able to um, user can be able to withdraw, check balance, um, and the rest. So I'm just thinking, okay. So let's say we have something. Okay, my system is back. So the first thing I want to do in practice is um, I want to create a new file. So this is mine. Let me go to cd dash dash ls. Okay, chatbot. So let me just do cd make directory. Let me make a directory called bank app. Just call it a bank app. So I'll cd to my bank app, and then in my bank app, I'll open my code. So hopefully another Windows is going to open. So I have to reshare that Windows. So just give me a minute. Let me stop sharing this Windows and reshare that other one. So I have another Windows showing. So I need to stop sharing this. So just a minute. Okay, great. And reshare the other windows that I just opened. Okay. So almost there. Add to stage. Great. So this is the other windows. Now, what I did was I created a a new folder, and then I opened the folder on my VS Code. So you can see that this is the folder bank app. Okay, it's just empty. So that's what I did. All right, because I want to build modules. So I want all the files I'm saving to be in one directory. All right, so that I can easily just call them and use them. Okay. So, but let's start with creating a new file. Let's create a Python file. So let me call this. We just call this file that we want to create. Say Python file. Great. So we call this. Um, no, let me just come under here and do file. So let's call this one bank underscore services, for example, or let's say utilities. Say utilities, or let's just call it. Yeah, let's leave it bank underscore utilities dot py. I'm going to make my screen a little bit bold so that you guys can see my screen very well. So this is bank utilities, and let's say we have something called balance. Let's do something like somebody wants to withdraw. For example, I think I have some documented code. I will just pick and for sake of time, and let's just do. And for the sake of time, I'll just pick and drop there. So I'll pick and drop this, and then I will explain. So let's call this one's our bank services. So let's say we want to create a function that allows somebody to withdraw. All right. So this is the person default account number, which is 10,000, account balance, which is 10,000 naira. And for example, or $10,000 it could be, depending on what we want to say it. So we create a balance called 10,000, and we created a function called withdraw. And in that withdraw, anytime you want to call this function, um, you need the amount argument, the parameter to pass. Okay. So we are saying this is global. This might not be needed anyway because balance can be accessed by uh, any of the function. So let's just leave that alone. Let's comment this one out first, and I'll say if somebody wants to withdraw, if the amount that the person wants to withdraw is lesser than or equal to the balance, okay, if it's lesser than equal to our balance, we'll say okay, balance is minus balance minus the amount. We already know this. We did this when we did what did we do when we did remember when we did increment variable or something like that when we did increment operators. So we get this, and then when we are done, if this operation is done, we return successfully, withdraw successful, and then the person use new balance. We have to state the person new balance there, and then we return. If the person, if this is wrong, or like if the person balance does not meet it, we just create an insufficient form. So let's test this. So we'll do something like to test it. We'll do something like uh, amount. Say impute is going to be, or let's just say amount is going to be impute. We need to impute something like enter amount to withdraw. All right, this is just basic function. Enter amount to withdraw. Let me select an interpreter. I think I'll just select this. This is okay. All right. Let me just select this. Enter an amount because we are collecting an int, so we just do int. So we've not done try and accept, so that's another thing we do another time. So when we are done, we just do withdraw. We call the function withdraw, and then passing amounts that we're collecting from the user, and that would be all that we need. So I'll just do if okay. I think let me just put this under my what I want to do. Let me say if underscore name, so underscore name, underscore, then run this expression. Okay, wait. So this should be equal to, right? So this is just for us to use the function. So I'll save this and let's click on play. So I'm going to get my answer on the terminal. So it's telling me amount to withdraw. I think I didn't format this well. So I'm going to say amount to withdraw is this. So let's save this and rerun it again. Right. So that's why I'm having. So because I interrupted it, that's why we have this error here. So enter amount to withdraw. Let's say I want to withdraw 5,000. And let me see what it says. It says cannot access balance. Let me say five module withdraw amount. So the five withdraw amount. Okay, the local variable balance is a local variable. Let me see why I say balance is a variable. Cannot access local variable balance where it's not associated with the value. I know what's the issue. Okay, so we declared balance here, and we set it sorry at okay, so we have to declare that balance is local, is global inside the function. I forgot why I even did that before. So let me clear my screen and then we run it again and enter 5,000. I didn't get any response. So oh, now I know what I'm going to do. Something like results. We are returning. I thought we were printing. Result is equals to this, or let's say response is equal to this, and then we'll print our response. Great. So this is what we need to do. So let's run it again. So let's say 6,000. Great. So withdraw successful, and then we get that our new balance is 4,000. So great. We are good to go. All right. So that function is working. So this is a normal function that we've done and is working for withdrawing money. All right. So let's create another function again. I guess can you guys still hear me? You understand what we are doing, right? I guess you understand what we are doing. Just give me a comment or a like button or something. Okay. So let's say we want to check balance. We want to create a function to check balance. So to create function to check balance, we need to just do something like this. Okay, so we create a function to check balance. So call this function and we just say return your balances, all right? And then we can be able to to get it. Okay. So this is another function. So if I call this function, let's say if I comment all of this to test, let's be testing them one after the other. If mean is mean, just call this function. I think we need to leave the part where we have response because we are all returning. So this will be response, will be this. Hi guys, can you still hear me? I'm not getting any response on the comment section. Hello? Hello, can you guys still hear me? Oh yes, Godwin said Day18. Yes, good. Okay. All right. Okay, great. So check balance and so you check the balance. This is how we get our balance. And so I think this is good. So if we run this, we get our balance. Our balance is 10,000. So I think what it's also doing is that it's printing previous answer. I don't want it to be printing previous. What's doing is that each time I run my code, it's bringing previous uh, results. I don't want that to happen. So I think for now, I would just do something like I would just say, let me just put it under my if statement because I might claim it. So I'll just say import OS. Then I'll now say something like OS dot system. Then just pass my CLS there. I guess that will work. Let's check. Okay, CLS is not found. So okay, let me do clear. I think CLS should have worked better. Great. So clear. Now what I'm doing is that I want it to clear the screen so that uh, I get what I want. You can even say, okay, after my results, I still want you to clear everything. Just leave my results there on the screen. So no, not this is not what I want. This is what I want. Rather, I want this to just print my result for me, and that's all. I don't want to be having anything coming from on top. You understand? No, don't. So once the app starts, it clears the terminal first, and then it prints my result for me. Okay, great. So let's pick another function again. So let's say we want to have another function called by function. Okay, we are just this is remember this is a Python file that we're working on. We're just putting functions and testing functions. Okay, so this is another function called by. It's good to give two space after a function. This is another function called buy services. So what service do you want to buy, and then the amount. So you pass in the service that you want to buy, and then we'll check if the money you have in your account is able to do that. And if it's able to do that, we'll then now uh, you know give you the services, or else we'll tell you that you have insufficient for the service. So for us to be able to do this, we need to copy this and passing. Let's just pass in by default what we want to buy. So the service is equal to, let's say we want to buy data, for example, and the amount that we want to buy data is 5,000. Okay, so this is me passing these services by default. All right, remember when we did default parameter? I can just pass the parameter by default, so I don't need to collect variables to test it. When we are building it at the front end, we'll collect, these are things that we'll collect from the user. User will click this and user will enter the amount. Okay, so I'll save this and then I will run. So you see, successfully bought data because the money we have is 10,000 naira. So our remaining balance is what, 5K. That function is working. So another function I want to pull up again is the deposit function. So let's pull up the deposit function. So this is the deposit. What if I want to add money to my account? Okay, but if I want to add money to my account, so deposit, I'll just call this function deposit, and then I'll say I want to pass in the amount. What amount do you want to deposit? So in this case, I'm just putting a default. Let's just put default. Let's say 7,000. Okay, so it's a 7,000 stuff I want to. So once I run this, I'm going to get my new balance is 1,700. All right, so 17,000 rather 17,000. So that's the beauty about all of this. So if you check this now, you find out that we have had several functions. We have several functions. All right, we have about how many functions are there? We have one, two, three, four. So we have four functions, and these are core functions on a banking system. You are withdrawing, you are either withdrawing, or you are. We can do transfer. Let's do transfer. Okay. Let's we can also do transfer. We can just say that dev. What you want to transfer? Dev transfer. What amount you want to transfer? And sometimes we can say the account number that you want to transfer, and maybe the bank. This is just we playing along, right? Just you guys can build this. So we need the global. Global is a keyword. We need a global balance. Okay, and then we need to say that if the amount is less than or equal to balance, then we can do things like print. Let's just say print, or let's just say account is equal to, let's impute and say enter account number. Okay, well, let me just do this. All right, and we'll just keep this as an integer. So int, want to keep it as int. Then the next thing is our bank. Bank is equals to, we just say impute bank. Let's enter recipients. Or let's just say enter bank account, bank name, or something like that. Let me use this, and then we can now say that print or just return. We're gonna return. Okay, I think we don't need this anymore. You don't need to pass in this when you call it. Just leave the bank because it's a local variable. Okay, so just say return f string transfer successful to the person the account, and we can also pass in, let's say bank, for example, and then we can now do next line. Let's say on the next line we say new balance is now balance. Great. So let me put this on the next line. I like it to be next line. It comes on the next line. I just put all of them on the next line. Things like this on the next line. Great. So fantastic. So this is what we need to do. Then S remains default, where we would return insufficient stuff. We'll say that it is return insufficient funds for transfer. Now, kindly pay attention to this, because This will cover up what we want to do for the week because you're going to build it more. I want you guys to build it more. That's a project for this week. Weekend, you're going to build it more, make it elaborate. All right, you're going to build all of the services and all of that. You see the assignment. It's very, very simple. So just pay attention to what we are doing. So this is it. Let's test the transfer. So copy this. Let's set our amount to. Let's first of all set the amount to 7,000. So if we run this, it will ask us. Great. Enter your account number because it works. So it's telling us to enter account number. So I'll just do 5655653. This is just one normal account number anyway. And the name of the account. Let's use Access Bank PSA. So transfer successful to this of Access Bank PSA. Our remaining balance is 10,000. Okay, so there is an error in that code. We are not updating our balance. So let me just copy this. We need to update our balance. So we need to update our balance. Yeah, balance needs to be updated. Great. So fantastic. Fantastic. I think this is it. Let's rerun it again. It obviously clears. Enter the amounts we want to withdraw. So the account number is this because it is up to it. All right. Then the bank. Let's use Access again. Access Bank PSC. So transfer successful to this account of Access as being seen. The new balance is 3,000. So this is exactly what we want. This is good, and it's actually giving us what we want. Great. Great, 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 great. So all of these services are working, bank services, all of these services are working. So now how do we use it now? How do we now create it to a module? Because we already have all of these functions. So as far as we are concerned, if we are building an app, we have already built all the functions that we need for the bank services or the bank app. We've built all the functions that users might want to use. So how do we now integrate it into a front end where the user calls on the internet? When they call on it, it now calls this function to do the code. So we're going to create another. So I'm going to take this off because I did this because we're testing the app. So we're going to take this up. Then I'm going to leave the balance here default. The reason I'm leaving the balance here default is because it's because we are testing it. That's why I'm leaving it. But normally balance should not be here. All we should have, or everything we should have should just be function. So if I'm going to take this balance off, that means that I'm going to set balance to all the variables that we have here. Okay. And if I do that, okay, when we do OOP, I'll teach you guys a lot. There's a thought I'm thinking, and I know it's OOP that will make me do that to make it specify. But let's take balance off. Yeah, let's take. I don't want to take balance off. Yeah, let's set the balance on the front end. All right. Well, let's leave it here first. Don't worry. It's your assignment. You guys will sort that one out yourself. But let me just leave it here first. Okay. So save it. So let's create another new file. Let's call that new file. Let's call it bank underscore app. Or let's just call it app.py. App.py. That's our app this time. Okay. This is our app. So I have some code that I just want to copy. Okay, and then I'll just edit it because I have done some changes to it, things like the name. So first of all, I'll just comment this part off, and let's start from the top. So what we need to do is that for us to be able to access all the functions that we've created in bank file, we'll import it. Bank. I just call this front end. So we'll do something like import bank utilities. Now we'll do import bank utilities. It's going to import all of these functions that we have created. All of these functions. It's going to import all of them. I want to try something. Import this. Let's say balance. I want to do something. Balance is equal to bank utilities dot balance print balance. Let's check something there. Okay, so I want to run this and see what becomes the outcome. 10,000. See that 10,000 is what is printing. So what are we doing is that if imported bank utilities, that is this file. Let me split my screen. Yeah. So drop this so that you can see what I've done. So I'm splitting my screen right now. So you can see that we imported bank utilities. And inside bank utilities, remember yesterday when I was doing math.py, that's pi, and it gave me a default value. And I said to you that I'll teach you how to do it. This is how it means that it's a default variable inside that other file. Okay? Can you guys still hear me? Hello, am I still audible? Okay, great. So it's a default variable or a default data inside that function or that module that we have created. So in this case, now bank utilities are module. So that's like I'm able to access balance. All right, I'm able to assess it that this is balance. Okay. What if we do something like this? Let's try to see what we can do. So let's go ahead with our function. So we've import bank utilities, and then what I'm creating is that I'm creating a def function. Now let me take this. Let me make this my screen a little bit small so that you guys can capture everything I want to do. Then let's make this one a little big. I can easily come here and scroll for you guys to see. Okay, so let me uncomment this part. So this is our function called welcome to PP Bank. Main function, just a function called welcome to PP Bank. So we want to choose an option. We have one to check a balance, two to withdraw, four to. So let's now print 5 to. I think 5 was for transfer because we now have transfer, and then this will be 6 for edit. Great. So we'll change it. So 1 to check your balance, 2 to withdraw, 3 to buy service, 4 to deposit, 5 to transfer. So this is a new different app file app that we're using. So once we are done, we'll take the user's input, which has to be an integer. We have to pass it that it has to be an integer. Now, we've not taught you guys things like try and accept or something like that. So when we do that, you would understand a lot. Because there are ways that I need to trap this so that nobody enters what they should not enter. I should check if it's a digit. If it's not a digit, we'll try and error. If it's a digit, then we start collecting numbers and incrementing the numbers. There's a way to do that. So what I will now do here is that if it's equal to 1, then I'll call the what we are doing. So that will be bank utilities. So this will be bank utilities dot the check balance function that we've created here. Remember, so bank utilities dot the check stuff. But there are ways to import. All right, we can just do from bank utilities, import bank utilities, or sorry, another thing we can do, we can say from bank utilities, because we might need all the function, we just say import all. Great. Once we do this, yeah, there's no need for us to be putting bank utilities at the bottom again. We just use the function the way it is. That's one way of creating something like this. But another way again is, if I don't want to import all, I can say from bank underscore utilities import, then I'll list what I want to import. I just want to import check balance. So that is the only function I want to import. So once I do that, you see that check balance is not, it's okay. But other function like withdraw, buy services, they've been what? They've been underlined, meaning it cannot find them. All right. So these are three ways you can import. But also I can also say that um, I can also do something like this. I can say import bank underscore utilities as BT, or you understand, or BTU, for example. Then when I do that, if I want to now use it, I will now say that BTU dot check balance. So you can rename, create an alias of what you're importing. All right. But if I do something like bank utilities dot BTU as BTU, and so everywhere in my code you'll be seeing BTU dot BTU dot B. Now where it is important that you just do your import like this. All right. Since you don't know, you don't you just want to import all the libraries, because this is the same thing as this. Okay, just that with this one, once you do import bank utilities, you have to be using bank. You must specify bank utilities first before the function to actually access the function you want to use. But once you import like this from bank utilities, that's from this file, we want to import all of the functions we have. It means that we can just call the functions anyhow, just call the name. But where this will give you an issue is that, let's say you are using another module again. There's another module you want to use, and in that module, somebody also declared a function called check balance. You have clash. So your Python does not know which of the check balance are you using. Is it the one from this module or the one from the other module? Okay, that's why it's just sometimes it's best to just say import what you need, which is this other one. You can just decide this, I want to import what I need. But if you are conversant to say I want to use everything, I think what would you just do? The best practice is to say import bank utilities, and then we just rename it so that we stop spelling bank utilities all the time. Okay, so you can just say to BT. So we know that anytime is bank or BU. Let's leave it as BU. So we know that it's anything anywhere you see BU, it's bank utilities. So we'll now call this place with BU dot check balance to be able to do that, because we are checking balance. Therefore, withdraw. So what we are doing is that if a user enters, I'm going to make this a little bit big. If a user enters one, it should say print. We should not be printing in this case because we are returning results. So we should do something like our response is equal to this, because you can. Guys, I just thought about an assignment again. If I give you that one, there's a way you can do this. This will become what we call endpoints. Okay, to become an endpoint, you can host this. It can be an endpoint. If somebody wants to transfer, it can be a URL direction transfer. And once the person clicks, goes to that place, it picks. The person must provide an amount. It must post in an amount to this function for it to work. I think that's another assignment I'll give you guys. But no, I just want you to build your app. When you're done building the bank app to what I like, I'll tell you guys to make it an API. Don't be scared. It's very simple. So this will be 2. Person enter 2. What function are they calling when it's 2? They want to withdraw. So for withdraw, they need to pass in an amount. And yeah, it has to be a float. Enter the amount that you want to withdraw. And we call response. We have to set our response here. Should be BU the amounts, and then we'll print our response to the user. Okay, so we'll do that for three. Three is also, so I'll just copy this because it's the same thing. Three is for services, so I'll just copy this and paste it here. Or rather than withdraw, we'll call the buy service function. But remember that for the buy service, we are also entering a service account, so passing service to here that the person is entering. Okay, remember, person needs to pass in a service, and then we get our response, print it out. Then when it is 4, we would also copy. This is deposit, so let's see what the person is depositing. Just the amount the person is depositing. So we need to pass in an amount. You see that we are using, it's from here we are getting our amount as the message that we are getting. So this will be our response equals to bu.deposit. I'm passing amount, and then we'll just print our response. Guys, are we still together? Okay. And then, so I did 5 to be what? Transfer. So we'll just make 5 transfer. So we would, then for this, we only need the amount you want to transfer and the response. But, transfer will come with a lot because it's going to transfer. Okay, so I'll take this break off. Yeah. So transfer will be here. So enter the amount you want to. This should be transfer. You want to transfer. Great. And then the next thing is we'll do an elif, because if the person's choice is equal to 6, meaning the person wants to exit, we'll tell the person, we'll just print thanks for banking, and then we'll break the loop. Otherwise, we'll keep. So this is just now. I said something also. Why true? Why true simply means that if the person, how do I do this? Okay, let me take this white true off first. Let's take this off, and let's just make this one. Let me just push this one in safe so that everything will be fine. Okay, they're all in the same indentation now, so everything is fine. So let's save it this way first. Let me show you what we're doing. So great. So I think our app is okay to test. So all of these, I'll just leave it there so that anybody who comes can understand what we are doing. So let's run our app. Let's test. So we'll just click play. Great. So you can see saying, welcome to PEEP. So enter the choice that you want to choose an option. Let's say I want to check my account. Say your current account balance is 10,000, and then it ends. For me to be able to run it again, I need to do Python app.py for it to, sorry, I'm using Ubuntu, so it should be Python 3. Great. So it's asking me choose an option. All right. So I want to withdraw. What do you want to withdraw? I want to withdraw to enter the amount you want to withdraw, 5,000. It is just going to run withdraw successful, and the app goes, it's done. Okay, but what if the person should be able to, the user should be able to use it to when they are satisfied, and then they will not exit. Okay, so that is where we have this while loop. That's why we have this while loop on the, which I'm going to just bring back. That's why we have this while loop here, so that it's continuous. And and I want to be clearing the screen whenever the app is running. So when there's an output, I want to clear the screen. So I think I will come here and do something like import OS. Then I'll just say OS. We can import OS globally, and I'll just use it where I want to use it. I can do import OS. Then I can say OS dot system. Now I'm using clear because I'm using Ubuntu. If it's Windows, it will be something like CLS. So let me run this and see if it meets my idea. Great, this is what I want. Choose an option. If I say I want to check my balance, now there's an issue. It's actually working, but I'm not seeing my results. So it's because of my os.clear. So I think I need to go back and we need to find I need to put this I need to put this here. Great. I need to put this here before the Y. Great. I think so. So let's see. Let's see. I don't know. Or I need to no, not inside this function anyway. I need to put this probably I don't know, maybe probably here something. I just maybe I'll figure out where that needs to stay, but let's just run our code. Okay, welcome to Big Bank. Choose the option you want to do. I want to check my account balance. Okay, so your account balance is this. Now what I want to do is I want to print this. It takes this one off. Okay, I don't want you to be saying what is up. Takes it off. That's what I want to do. Okay, what if I want to buy service? TV. Enter the amount of service. Enter service the end time. So I want to buy data. And so I have an issue here saying that it cannot locate local amounts where it is not associated with the value. So there's a problem with app. So we go back and check. I think that was three. Okay, so we need to pass in the amounts. We need to pass in the amounts. We need to say amount is equal to impute. To impute. What is the amount of what's it's the amount? Let's keep it simple. Let's say enter our service. So I have to put f string here so that I can catch that variable service. So enter service amount. This thing is very simple, guys. So enter service amount. All right. So that I can catch it and then we'll pass it here. Great. So, but then I want to check my. I want to check my import OS. So let me see what I want to do. Let me pass it here. Let me pass my OS here. OS not clear. Let me pass it at the end of the loop. Okay. So I'll get this one to space. So I think we don't need this thing again. So let me exit this and make this thing big and bold so that you guys can see clearly what I'm doing. Hello guys, are you still here? Why is deposit amount float? No, you might want to send to the 5,000.50 kobo. Or you said deposit. Yeah, you might. It's possible you deposit something with a kobo or something like that. It's possible. So that's why it's floats. Okay, it's possible. Somebody might want to transfer money to you and transfer 5,000.50 kobo. So that dot there is why it's float. All right, Jennifer. So great. So what we are doing, let's not be carried away by all this. What we are doing is practical example of how you use emojis. So we've created a file. Yeah, I want to just show you guys. So you can see that I have pillars. This is great. This is happening because we are using it's emojis, okay? So it's more like a pie catch, right? That's what. So we are using emoji. All right. So this is Python telling us that we are using emoji. Okay. So we can open that one there. So what we are doing is that we have a Python script. Anything could have been a float, truth be told. Yes. Everything could have been a float. Yeah, I think everything is a float. Let me see. Except account number that I made in teacher. So we have a function, or we have a Python script that has set of functions. All right. These are set of functions and they do different things. Okay. For bank services. And then we want to now create user interface. All right, which is our app interface now. That now allows users. We could have built all of this function inside this place, but we cannot. Let me split my screen again. Let me put bank utilities here and drop this. That's okay. So we could have built all of these things, all of these functions inside this app, but it's not reusable. All right, it does not make it look good for us. So what we just did is that we built all the functions that we needed in this part. Okay, our bank services. I should have even call it bank services instead of bank utilities because utilities is maybe you want to create accounts for people which your assignment will cover. You create an account for the person, give the person account number, and you ensure that the account number that you're giving to the person cannot be repeated. Okay, so when the person when you create an account for the person, maybe name for name or just a name, PIN, the person creates PIN, maybe the email address and the rest. You save it to a file, or if you want to be very, very good with it, you save it to a database. As you save it to a database, your local database, you save everything to your local database. So once the person wants to log in, you go to your database, you check the person's credentials based on the database. Francis is already sending emoji. It's a good project, Abby. Right. Check it in the database, and if it's available, you log in the person. Then when you log in the person can be able to on the database, the person's amount should be there. The person amount should be there. Okay, the amount is there, and then the person can perform actions that he wants to perform using that amount. Then when the person is exiting, the person's amount or the balance is updated in that database. That same database, the person's is updated. Okay. And if you create an account for somebody and the person and that account is found in our database already, you should regenerate. Okay, you should regenerate a new one. Okay, until that account is not found in the database, you can pass it to the database. So this is what I want you guys to do in your assignment. That's your next project, and it's a very good one. I've already given you guys the structural flow of how it is. Everything is modules, all right. But the only new thing you're adding now is that you are still using modules, but this time you're connected to a local database instance. Mhm. That's the only thing about your assignment. You're connected to a database instance, and it's very very simple. Just for you guys to sit down. Just say when you're able to battle your stream it, you can battle it. But I'm going to put that in the write up, and then I'll sign after the end of the class so that you guys will know what your project for the week is. Okay, it's going to be a good project. So, so yes, so I think we've tested everything. Let's rerun this app file again. So I'll come here, I'll just come on there. Let me clear my screen. let's say Python 3. I'm using Python 3 because I'm using Ubuntu, please. Or I'm using Linux. If you're using Windows, it's just Python. So Python 3 app.py. Let me make my terminal big so that you guys can see. So welcome to Pickback. What do you want to do? I want to check my account. I'm not getting my response. I think I need to. I'm not catching my flow yet. Well, that's os.clear. Let me drop it down again. Look at it. Wait. I think this thing should be. So when you return the screen, you return it. I see it. Anyways, should it be under my while loop? I'm not sure it should be under my while loop. I think it should be under my function. Okay. I don't need this part again. And this is why I'm thinking. I think when it comes, I don't know. Let me rerun this again and see. Let's just play this. Let me see something. One check balance. Okay. This time it's not working. All right. Let me just go with what I'm doing. But I'll check it. My OS.clear needs to be somewhere. I want it to be somewhere so that it clears the screen. So that it clears the screen. I want it where my main. Let me put it here first and see what we have. This is me now. I don't like this. I'm guessing. Okay. Check balance. It's not working the way I want it to work. But anyways, let's go on with what we are doing. So if I want to withdraw two, tell me what is the amount I want to withdraw. Let's say I want to withdraw 2,000. It tells me that my new balance is now 800. So if I check my balance again now, is updated to 8,000. Okay. Remember when I started to check my balance, it was 10,000. So what if I want to buy a service? Let's say I want to buy a service. What do you want to buy? I want to buy data, for example. Then enter data amounts. All right. Remember when I said it has to come after each loop, right? I don't know. I'll check that. So what data amount? You see, because I entered data, that's why I say enter data amount. So how much data do I want to buy? I want to buy a data of 3,000. And when I do that, my new balance is 5,000 naira. So I want to deposit. Let's say I want to deposit. Enter the amount to deposit. I want to deposit. Let's say 2,000. So I've deposited. My account is now 7. You see, it's showing dots. Now let me show you why it's showing dots. Let's say we want to deposit again. I want to deposit by entry 4. Then what do you want to deposit? I want to deposit 1,000 dots 10 or something. You can see that's why we do this. All right. We can also do services where for every transfer they will deduct 15 naira. You can do those application here. You can do the part that if they deposit into this account, if the money deposited is greater than this thing, minus 15 naira from the money being deposited and then add it to the account. You can do it. All right. So it just depends on what you want to achieve. So let's transfer. Let's do the last one transfer. The amount you want to transfer. You want to transfer. What if I say I want to transfer 9,000 because that's above our account? Well, let's just do the correct one first. Let me say I want to transfer 2,000. I've been typing 2,000 since 1,000. So you need time to enter the amount, the account number. So let's just enter a random account number. And then the bank, let's just use First Bank, PSC, and great. So we've transferred our money, so it has reduced in our account. So let's go back to 5 again. So I want to transfer 8,000. What do I get? It tells me that it's insufficient funds for transfer. So I need to choose my app again. What if I want to withdraw? And what I want to withdraw is 10,000. insufficient funds. Then it's asking me to what I want to do. So what I wanted to do is that I wanted to print these results. By the end of printing these results, then when it's running again, you will see it when it's running again, you'll not see all these results. But anyway, that's another thing for you today. So guys, this is it. So let me exit. I think I'm done. So exit to tell me, oh, you see, now exit for you to tell me this. For you to tell me this, it broke off. The OS.clear now worked. You're not serious. So let's just leave that. I'll settle my OS.clear. Let me just comment it rather. I'll settle it. So let me run it again so that when I click 6 exit, you see that to say thank you for using Pickback. And then it ends. So this is it, guys. This is a core. It's already past 9. So this is a core example of a bank app. Now your assignment is going to be around this. Okay, so you're going to be building a detailed bank services for me with module, is modular. All right. But the only thing I'm adding to it is that it now you need to connect to database, or you might want to save it to a file, or you want to save it as JSON. But I recommend you save it to a database because it's very, very creative. So for you to do that, some of you need to install Postgres, that's PGAdmin on your system, or MySQL Workbench on your system. Either of those two is needed for you to be able to pass from Python, and you connect your database to it. You pass from Python to that database, and from that database, you get everything that you want. All right, so this is our class for today. I know our class for today was interesting, whether you like it or not. It was very, very interesting. All right, guys, and let's go to the Slack channel and let's keep asking questions. Let's keep building. Let's prepare for what is coming, which is the assignment that we have, or our week class. All right, so I'll be on the comment section on the Slack to answer all our questions. For me, this is fantastic, and I will say bye bye, guys. See you on Monday. Cheers.